Modern Geek, also known as Vamp Mario, and we're doing another live show for this week. Um, I know we've been focusing these shows. Whoops. Oh. All right, there I am. Geek out. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm just writing our chats. Awesome. And I got one person who's watching. And please don't be shy in the chats. I appreciate you guys being there. And let me know what's going on. This week's going to be more of a free form. I mean, we're going to go over kind of the news. Sorry, I got some coffee. And I thought I'd do a couple of different things. Alright, sorry about that. So I think this will do it for us. I may have to rename that video, but I will take care of that. But yeah, so I thought we'd just kind of go over the weekly news, the weekly stuff. As always, make sure that you guys do subscribe to the Facebook page. It's where you'll know when things are happening and things are jumping and jiving. And yeah, there's a couple different things I wanted to talk about. So we'll kind of look at some of the home stuff. But one of the things, there's a lot of different roads converging, right? We talked about Marvel last week. And kind of their lineup. I did my take on DC's lineup, kind of what that looks like, and I'm gonna do some more speaking through. I'm for the most part caught up on all the shows, and kind of what that's looking like, and just kind of giving you some other little tidbits here and there. And then we got some movies on the horizon from the Marvel side of things. And then we also have, of course, the world of gaming. So we got some stuff on that front. And you can see our first news item that I wanted to kind of throw out there was Pokemon Mystical new distribution begins today. So I'm going to start in the world of Pokemon because we got two big things that are coming. One being that they're going to be reproducing all of the Pokemon sets. Specifically the first one, all the Pokemon from that. They're going to be updated sets throughout the year to celebrate the anniversary. In addition to that, we have Pokemon Tournament coming out the end of this week. Not the end of this week, in March. Which, for you folks that are in the New York area, Nintendo World closed for a remodel. And I think that is coincidentally due to Pokemon Tournament. So that they can get the store looking a little bit different, probably resetting it more to a Pokemon Center because it is a big year for Pokemon. And then at some point we're going to have Pokemon Go come out this year as well. But the big thing that they did at GameStop, and I am very angry that I wasn't able to partake in this. I'm hoping maybe I can get to GameStop. But they actually did a Mew redemption code, so you can redeem that through Pokemon, through your Pokemon Ruby and Omega Red and Sapphire game, which is pretty cool. I wish I could have gotten down there to take advantage of that. Another thing that also hit this week was our first look at Alice Through the Looking Glass TV spot. Now, switching gears from Pokemon for a second, we had this guy here, and let's see, get this queued up here. Oh, and this is a weird movie. I love embedded ads, don't you? So the video that I wanted to play. Oh, and we're gonna go back and watch that. I'll cue that up. Sorry, guys. I'm just letting things kind of revisit itself. And I figure we do some reactions on it. But yeah, it is the new trailer that's coming out. Oh, a little bit of spoilers. Alright, so we'll go through this together. Awesome. So obviously, very interesting take on Alice through the looking glass. Whoops. Let's get this out of here. I urge you guys to watch the video further, but just a couple of things of note in there. Obviously, we have a few new cast members who are joining the cast. And we got that coming out in May, so it's going to be hitting actually very soon. It's very funny that they did a teaser spot very close to May. We haven't really heard anything about it. Obviously, the majority of the cast is coming back for the movie. It is still Tim Burton, of course, at manning the ship. It's got kind of a weird vibe to it. Personally, I like the first Alice in Wonderland movie that they did. Again, it was a little bit more in line with the books. And it had that kind of whimsy, crazy thing, and of course, being Tim Burton, it had that little off-putting thing too. So it's kind of a weird mixture. But I thought it was really highly imaginative, and it's great, and it looks terrific. And I think, again, Johnny Depp, of course, rising to the occasion to play a really awesome character, the Mad Hatter. But this one looks like we went far away from Through the Looking Glass. It's very weird. It kind of doesn't make too much sense. And I mean, on a sad note, which is also part of kind of what was going on, and actually is the next news thing on my feed, and it's related because, of course, Alan Rickman, we heard his voice in that trailer. He plays the voice of the caterpillar in that particular movie. And obviously we know he passed away recently. And actually one of the news feed things that I have is they did a wand salute to him as Professor Snape, since he played him in the film. So that was another thing kind of in our big news. Obviously, Alan Rickman was an amazing actor, but he happened to also play quite a few science fiction and fantasy characters, whether he voiced them or acted as them, and is in a lot of cult classic films as well, because he was no stranger to that genre. And just kind of an all-around actor. So he's kind of in there too. And I'm a huge Die Hard fan. Of course, he was the bad guy in the first Die Hard as well, which was awesome. The Sheriff of Nottingham, all of that good stuff. So yeah, it's sad to see him go. I think we should offer probably a moment of silence for him and his gifted work, which I thought was pretty awesome. Cool. So, on a switch in complete gears note, obviously, coming up now a week from, well, not a week, a little over a week and a half, we're going to be coming up on Deadpool, coming to us on its opening weekend, aka Valentine's Day weekend. Obviously, there's a few things to note about Deadpool that have come up in this week's, and this is sort of we'll just kind of going through the headlines of the week. So obviously there are a couple things. So first off, it's coming out. The other big thing of note is that there will be a huge Super Bowl spot for Deadpool. So we're all going to be staying tuned to that. I'm sure it's going to give us more of an insight on the film. But then also in the news with Deadpool is these moms who are, or at least petitioning for it to be a PG-13 movie. So I'm going to start off in the nicest way possible saying you are crazy to want Deadpool to be a PG-13 movie. It's pretty crazy. It doesn't make a lick of sense. It's Deadpool. It's friggin' Deadpool. It should not be PG-13. It should be rated R as it is. Because Deadpool, at least the character that we all know and love, is not appropriate for children. I am sad to say this. I'm sure there are tons of kids out there that are huge comic book fans. And of course, Marvel, up until this point, although I would argue that Guardians of the Galaxy started us ushering into that pathway, has been pretty good about making an all-age film. But, that being said, because it is Marvel and it is a dynamic world, there are characters that do not fit in a PG-13 environment. And as we did our rundown of Marvel, obviously Jessica Jones and Daredevil come to mind, hence why they're on Netflix. They're on Netflix. And obviously Deadpool should very much follow suit. And, I brought this up in our Marvel discussion. Of course, it gets a little blurry because they do tend to use Deadpool a lot because he's a very popular character. So they have dumbed him down to the PG-13 ranks in order to get those folks to be able to watch and view him. And, I think it causes some confusion. So there was a petition for that. And the cast and Ryan Reynolds responded. And obviously, we're pretty much in the vein of, you're kind of crazy. It's not appropriate for children. Your children shouldn't be there. I made a comment earlier this week. If you take your children to Deadpool, you are probably somebody who is an extremely interesting parent and maybe kind of teach your kids different values than the average bear. And that's okay, because they're your children. And, the old saying, a village raises a child, is sometimes it's not as widely used anymore. I don't think it's a particularly good idea. Case in point, the graphic they released a few days ago. I'll give you 1,000 guesses if you can tell me what's behind Deadpool. But I do very much like the graphic because I love the douchebags and heroes, which I think is pretty funny. So it sort of kind of puts it in perspective and frames it that this is not for children. Keep the kids at home. They'll eventually get to see it. Next on the docket, there's a lot of kind of fan speculation out there. So, of course, Rogue One will be the next Star Wars film that we will get in between our episode movies. So they do have these standalone movies in the Star Wars universe. And there's a lot of debate. Who do you want to see in these movies? What characters do you want to see? And one would presume that some characters from the Star Wars universe could kind of pop into some of these films, because I think they released an official timeline. I'm not completely sure where sort of those films fit in the timeline of the films. I don't think they're not bridge the gap films. They have said that they're going to be separate films, but you kind of get the gist. So there's a little bit of a debate out there on kind of what characters do you want to see, and obviously you can guess it. Boba Fett and other characters are quite popular at the moment to show up into these films, and I don't see any reason why they couldn't. They're very in that frame of mind when you think about Rebels and how a lot of characters have come into that property. And then kind of a general post-up was every movie getting remade in 2016. And this is a pretty cool list. Because, some we know, like for instance Ghostbusters. And obviously we know this Ghostbusters will be an all-female cast. I love it. They have the original trailers on this post. It's kind of fun to check it out. But yeah, we'll have an all-female cast Ghostbusters, new Ecto 1, and so forth. Now, this one might surprise you, but Jumanji, I believe, is going to be getting a remake. The Exorcist, so creepy, will be getting a remake. Baywatch will be getting a remake. We all have seen the Independence Day 2 trailer, or you may have. Spider-Man will also be getting a remake. And that ends our 2016 list. For me, knowing that Spider-Man is going to get another reboot was kind of fun. This was a big surprise and eye-opener for me. Baywatch, not a fan. Jumanji is a big one. That's a big, big remake. And obviously Ghostbusters we all knew about because Ghostbusters has been on the books for quite a while. So and then we also got some very, very preliminary first looks. Sorry to jump around a little bit. This is around the movie trend. Some very general first looks at Guardians of the Galaxy 2. So now, that is our first look. This very, very James Gunn did an Instagram shot, of kind of them doing a read through, and for you folks that are maybe not aware, because they were heavily make-upped in the other one. Yondu would be the character to the right, and one of Yondu. So at the end of the movie, you see him and Yondu were driving off after the Guardians have done their business, and he talks about how we should have delivered him to his father like we were supposed to. That guy's a blah blah. So you notice that they're doing a scene together. Now they do have a dog in the shot. Now I don't know if that's one of the folks' dogs. I think it says rehearsals for being Guardian's beloved pooch. Oh, Von Spears. Okay, so it was Gunn's dog. I wanted to double check that. Because when I saw the dog, I was like, ooh, Cosmo. And I was like really excited because that's one of my favorite Guardians of the Galaxy characters. And for you folks that may not be aware, they did put Cosmo in the first film. He's the dog in the spacesuit that's in the collector's menagerie of pets or things. Which, if there's any scene in the movie you want to freeze frame through in Guardians of the Galaxy, that's it. Because Guardians of the Galaxy, there's a ton of Easter eggs in that one scene. It's pretty crazy. Amazing. And one of the Easter eggs is Cosmo when they show him. And Cosmo, for you Guardians of the Galaxy aficionados, when the Guardians of the Galaxy become a formal team and they are using Nowhere as their base, which is the place they end up in the film, their head of security is in fact Cosmo, a telepathic dog, Russian space cadet that was sent into space and ended up lost in Nowhere. So it's pretty cool. And he's a cool character because he telepathically talks to everybody, and he, particularly Rocket and his relationship is very funny in the comic book. So for you Rocket Raccoon fans out there. And then, we sort of continue the speculation of Star Wars, kind of switching gears back. Everybody's got a theory about what happened in the movie, what means what? I would refer you guys back to my hour-long show on my reactions to the Force Awakenings film. And you can kind of hear some of my rants on some of the theories there. And obviously, at this point, if you haven't seen it, there are spoilers all over it. So if you haven't seen it, you're waiting for it to come out on, video there. Pretty good to know. Also, well of note, while we're on the movie subject, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles will have also some presence at a TV spot. And kind of switching gears, now I want to kind of move into the animated comic book field. I am down like there is no tomorrow for this little piece of stuff, which is Justice League versus Teen Titans. I think this is going to be awesome and amazing. There's a nice synopsis here, and I figured we could watch the trailer if I can get things to work. Oh, let me get this set up first. And I'm going to get... Sorry, guys. Let me just get my video popped up here. Hold on one sec. Just going to move me out of the way. You'll hear my wonderful voice. Sorry about my little technical difficulties for the show. Alright. So we can watch this together. That looks dope. Oh, that was Beast Boy. Oh, this looks so dope. This is the first time I'm watching this. Okay. Alright, so my official favorite part of that trailer is him saying, I'm gonna pop myself back on the horizon here, is him saying, do you have a way to take out Superman? And them all looking very dubious. And in fact he does. That's awesome. Yeah, that looks freaking amazing. I'm really digging the new animated stuff that they're doing. I love that it's linear and in a time frame. So it's all one timeline and all the movies are happening in a certain timeline. Which is something they never really did on the animated front. I mean, they did it on TV shows, but not on the movies. This is awesome. First off, in the comic book, I love this story. But, of course, we have Trigon in there. The Titans in there. Justice League in there. I mean, what else can we ever have? I like that it's a mixture of the old and new Titans. So there's some established stuff in there, but also kind of catering to the New 52 crowd, which is also very cool. Oh, sorry. So I'm really looking forward to that. In the follow-up news, even more news to that, Justice League action coming to Cartoon Network with Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill. So they are going to be doing a Justice League action series. So I don't think we really have any first looks to it. I mean, they released some of the art, so you get a kind of thing or idea there. So this is pretty cool. I mean, obviously it's a retrofitted cartoon. It looks like the old style cartoons. It looks like the old stuff. But at the same time, for us folks that have grown up with the animated series Batman and Superman the animated series and Justice League, it's going to be that same voice cast coming back. So that very familiar place where we've all been, which is pretty awesome. I'm definitely looking forward to this. And I'm intrigued. And, if you sneak a peek behind there, Shazam is back there. The Flash is back there. Plastic Man is back there. So it's Dark. Ooh, I just saw the Dark Side back there. That's pretty awesome. So it is going to be the Justice League cast of characters, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's very similar to Justice League, and Justice League Unlimited, but kind of a more retrofitted. It also kind of has that New Frontier vibe to it, which is kind of awesome. So again, innovative character designs, but based on the old, so it's kind of that retrofit. Really looking forward to that. I think it's going to be pretty dope, pretty awesome. Very cool. And of course, having those guys back, perfect. And then switching gears yet again, and I apologize that this is an all-over podcast, but there's just a lot of news coming out. They released, let's get the advertisement. They released some more promo art for for Civil War, and I'm going to try to enlarge that, but you can see in the promo art there is definitely, probably my favorite is we got Ant-Man right in the corner there. We have some shadowy stuff. Obviously Hawkeye, obviously Vision, Black Widow, what to me looks like an Ultron, or I think that's Black Panther. Let me see if I can get in there. So these are actually some production shots. So I should warn you, if you do not want to be spoiled, some of these shots, I think they're just freeze frames from the trailer. Yeah, these are freeze frames from the trailer. The promo art's not on here. Whoops. Yeah, I just want a bigger promo art. And obviously this promo comes from, I should preface that, overseas. But a lot of times what will happen is they'll have different ad campaigns, in different areas versus in the Americas. So sometimes we can get some clues as to what's going to happen. So it is pretty clear that we have quite a lot of heroes, which we already knew. But definitely this emergence of bringing the heroes we know together. So that was kind of a cool little tidbit for the week. And then this is going to be probably... Oh, we're going to watch that video. I think it's hilarious. So here's the big one. Or a big one. So switching gears to old school cartoons. And I'm going to start the photo gallery here because we're going to talk about this. So people may or may not know that Hanna-Barbera... so characters such as ScoobyDoo, Space Ghost, Herculoids, Thundar the Barbarian, many traditional cartoons that you as a child, whoops, there we go. You as a child might have depending on how old of a child you are, as a child may have grew up with. We're actually going to be getting those characters are now owned by a totally different company. So Hanna-Barbera was its own company, but now DC, aka Warner Brothers, actually owns the rights to all of those characters. And so this within this week, maybe a little bit more into within the last week that we were in, they made an announcement they will be creating comic book series for all of these characters. And what the first shock and surprise to all of us is they will be changing a lot of these characters. So we start off with, of course, Scooby-Doo. But what you will notice is, one, this is being drawn by none other famous Jim Lee. Most of you will know him from, if nothing else, Batman, Justice League, Green Arrow, quite a bit of things. But if you take a look, he will be giving us a new Scooby-Doo, and quite a new Scooby-Doo it is. I don't even know where to start with this. And let me just get me out of the way. Whoops. So you guys can have a better... Oh, that's not what I wanted. Okay. So... this is crazy. So essentially, as you can see, we have a lot of things going on in here. I mean, we could start with Fred's tribal tattoo if we'd like, but yeah. So Fred's got a tribal tattoo. From the looks of this, Fred, Daphne, and Shaggy are all still teenagers. I think Thelma's 12. And Scooby-Doo looks like he's got some sort of like... I mean, so Scooby-Doo originally was obviously a dog that had some issues because he had a speech impediment and everything else. He looks completely crazy now. I think I'm going to go with cybernetic implant. And it wasn't until recently that someone pointed out that if you notice there are all bubbles here, I believe that Scooby talks in emoticons now. He doesn't talk. Thelma's got a drone. She looks like Robin. As I've been saying all week, Shaggy looks like an out-of-work Oliver Queen. So, like, if Green Arrow was completely poor, aka that's what he would look like. And honestly, like, one of the takeaways and one of my first reactions, being an artist, is that literally everything that Jim Lee has ever drawn, he literally drew in these characters. So this is Poison Ivy with a gun. This is Aquaman. That's Oliver Queen. That's Green Arrow without a mask. That's Robin. And then he just had to draw a dog. So that's what his dog looks like. Or Cyborg, if you want. So basically, they look like the Justice League, but they're also Shaggy, Fred, Daphne, and Scooby. So I'm a little concerned about this title, to say the least, is probably the best way to put it. Now we get to what probably the one thing that I am massively excited about, which is Future Quest. Future Quest is the dope. So Future Quest is literally taking a huge amount of Hanna-Barbera characters and having them literally all mashed up into one story, or at least that's what it seems like. so Johnny Quest, like meeting up with Space Ghost, meeting up with the Herculoids, meeting up with, all of these, Harvey Birdman. So Future Quest, totally down for. Now we come to the second most awkward thing, the Flintstones. Again, this is being drawn, and I'm not doing. All right, Jamie Lovett, I believe, right? Because they tell you the author of who's doing it. No, because these are just the images. This is Jim Lee. I know that. And we can go back to the article. I'm blanking on the name of the artist that's doing Future Quest. But Future Quest, really dope. Yeah, the Flintstones. So it's being done by a female artist, and she is known for making characters very appealing, so very good looking, pretty looking. It just looks weird. It really just looks very weird. Yeah, I can't. The Flintstones, also very concerned, because they look like gorgeous supermodels trapped in the Stone Age, and I just don't see the Flintstones in that. Then we have Wacky Raceland, where we took Wacky Racers. So for you folks out there that may or may not be familiar with Wacky Racers, because Wacky Racers is pretty dated. Wacky Racers was a lot. There were a few cartoons of Hanna-Barbera, which Wacky Racers is one, Laugh Olympics is another one, where they took a lot of characters and kind of shoved them in there from different franchises of Hanna-Barbera's, because Hanna-Barbera made a lot of cartoons, and they would have a race. And Wacky Races was all about the villains basically sabotaging the heroes in a race. This is Mad Max meets Wacky Racers. I don't get this. Again, I think people are thinking really, I just don't get this. I mean, this is Penelope Pitstop. That's her car. Penelope Pitstop was a girl with a parasol. And these were a bunch of midgets that were mobsters that used to protect Penelope Pitstop. And then this was a good guy, the guy that used to protect Penelope Pitstop. So I don't understand what's happening. I'm blanking on this. He might have been Wonder Man. Yes, he was Wonder Man. That's it. I got it. Don't remember. All right, so this is the actual title. So Scooby Apocalypse. I can't. It's not even called Scooby-Doo. The thing that Jim Lee does is not called Scooby-Doo. It's Scooby-Doo Apocalypse. So the Mystery Inc. are at the end of the universe. I will read this for days. This is awesome. This is Future Quest. Future Quest looks dope. The drawing is good. It ties into the Hanna-Barbera characters. This is dope. This looks gorgeous. This is so good. This totally makes sense to me. We'll read that gladly. Future Quest, off the hook. Some of this artwork is amazing. And again, there's Brack. It's so good. And the Herculoids. And I forgot these guys, but they're superheroes. They're galactic superheroes. It's awesome. I'm totally down for Future Quest. As a collector, I will probably collect all of these books, but Future Quest is the one I'm probably going to stick with and actually read. But Hanna-Barbera reboot. Lots going on in the Hanna-Barbera universe, but yeah, Warner Brothers will be auctioning off. We'll have the option of making these books, most of which I think are going to be crazy. Looking forward to the single one or the one that I know is going to be hopefully okay. Then kind of going further, we had some more Pokemon news. Another piece of Pokemon news that was interesting was we got a wonderful trailer of a game from Japan, where Pikachu actually gets a voice. It is, I think, called Detective or something to that effect. And Pikachu actually gets a voice. And it's very weird. It is like a 40-year-old Japanese guy, but Pikachu gets to talk, and he becomes a detective, because that's what I would do if I talked. I'd become a detective. It will be, I think, a DS title. I believe it is released in Japan at this point. It will be coming to the US. Again, extremely odd. Does not make a lot of sense to me. And that is about it for the week. So those are the news of note. Oh, I hit my wrong window. That would be sort of the rundown of the week. A lot of different things from a lot of different venues and places. Everything from the world of movies, TV, Pokemon, some animated stuff as well. We even had some comic book news, some new series that are coming out via Hanna-Barbera and the partnership with Warner Brothers. So I figured in this part of the show we could obviously take viewer questions. As far as our video game news, lots of people are looking forward to The Division and a few other games. We did get some confirmation that Gears of War 4 will be coming out hopefully the end of this year. They are at least taking pre-orders for holiday of this year. So we will be seeing that. In the collectible figure world, I know for you Ghostbuster fans out there will be some action figures coming out later this week. And you will also be seeing no major Toy to Life announcements. We got to wait a little while for the Battlegrounds pack for Disney Infinity. No new Lego Dimension waves yet after Ghostbusters so far. But a couple of other things I've been getting into lately. I've been getting into HeroClix, which I've talked about on this program, and I have some unboxing videos of. I was actually able to get my Galactus in this week, which was pretty cool. So he's pretty cool piece. This is kind of a larger formatted HeroClix. And you can do, I actually ran some cool games this weekend with it. And I was able to do kind of an assault on Galactus. And yeah, I think it's crazy that it's such a big HeroClix. And we'll be having some HeroClix dropping soon. We got Turtles coming at one point. And we'll also be getting the World's Finest set debuting soon. And that's been something that I've been kind of getting slowly back into. HeroClix was something I did do a while ago and then kind of popped out of that. So, hopefully we'll be getting to some more art. You guys will start seeing some of my, and I was going to talk about it on this program, but I say to you guys, I'll always talk about my art. I never do. But one of the things that I will be slowly doing, there it is. So I'll be slowly getting my sketch covers done. So you guys will start seeing me. I'll be doing some of this on the program, trying to do like a daily doodle or kind of a drawing a day. And I'll have these actually available for sale once I am finished. So you guys stay tuned. And of course, in the comments, feel free to shout out for that and leave direct messages for me through that. But I'll be having some of these going once I get them done. This particular one is actually Deadpool doing a getting prepared for the Downtown Abbey season finale. So I'll be doing some other stuff on the back, but I'll be doing a lot more of these, getting them ready, and hopefully have quite a library of them if you guys are interested. And of course, as art goes, I always am interested in taking on commissions and things of that nature, and that's where the commenting and messaging is very helpful because I can tell you guys about that. But my art will definitely be starting to be more of a focus. And of course, that's where a lot of my inspiration for all this stuff comes from. And if you guys also want to see more of a primer on HeroClix, I can definitely do some more shows on that. And kind of take a look at those things with you. And I'll be having some more unboxing videos up, with that being said, very, very soon. And we'll continue to have the gameplay videos that'll be coming up on Twitch. So, as always, if you want to know when we are on live, whether it be our Let's Plays and gameplay or our live shows, which we do on Tuesdays, trying to hit them at 9. Probably going to start doing them more like at 10, because that time frame is going to work better for me. You got to subscribe to our YouTube channel and you got to subscribe to our Twitch channel. And Vamp Mario is the name for both of those, so it's easy and simple to get in there and get on that. And then, of course, our Facebook page, which is featured on here, Modern Geek. And I'll try to keep new fun tidbits coming to you guys as often as possible and as quickly as I can. So, with that being said, I appreciate you guys watching and coming in. And if you have questions and comments, we always have the live chat going. And, of course, please tell your friends about us. That's how we're going to grow our audience and our live shows. This is actually our 5th live show. And I'm really liking doing them. And I would love to hear what topics you guys would love to hear more of as we talk about the week. Because, some weeks are going to be busier than others. And we'll be sharing. And obviously, I want to try to do these around what's kind of hitting and what's popular. And I think for next week's show, I've been saying that I want to do a kind of rundown of my collection, or kind of give you guys an insight into that. I think maybe next week's show we might talk a little bit on collectibles, or actually we could even do tabletop gaming, and kind of getting into that a little bit more. Awesome. I will have some more stuff to show you guys as the week goes, so we can take a look at that together. Awesome. Well, with that being said, I think I'm going to end the show a little bit early, and I appreciate you guys taking a look at some trailers together, and looking at the new week and some of the new things that we have to look forward to coming down the pike for the spring, summer, and of course some glimpses into the holiday season, which is going to be pretty awesome. It is, as always, the best time to be a geek, and this is the best place to know how it is to be a geek in the modern age. So take care, guys. I appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. And tell 500 more people about how cool I am and how wonderful this show is. And if you all do that 500 times, a lot of people will be watching it. Take care, guys, and we'll see you at the next show.